I failed in the very first year, to be honest. So I completed my engineering in 5 years rather than 4 years. I bagged a job in Randstad in 2019. 19 to all know that COVID struck, right? So there was restructuring and they again asked me to move out. So it was a layoff. But then again, as I said, why network and people are important? Because again, I was in that zone because that time I was in a zone wherein I have some liabilities. I bought a house in 2016, so I was having some EMIs, my normal expenses and everything. And suddenly I'm on zero because they have asked me to go. Then what happened? Okay, I have a good network. I floated my resume to more than 600 to 1,000 people. 7 days, I got a job. So I feel like gratitude and kindness go a big way. I will just quote an example. Few days back, if I had posted specially a post for one of my candidate in Deutsche, Amir Shirke. After 8 years almost, he still remembers me in terms of helping me out and bagging a job in Deutsche.
Hi everyone, welcome to I'm a Recruiter podcast. I'm your host and host Prafulla Deori. I'm a Recruiter is not just a community. It is a place to inspire recruiters, talent acquisition professionals, and anyone who needs little motivation in their life. Here we share real stories of people like you and me who have faced failures, doubts, tough times, but kept going and found success on their own terms. If our podcast brings even a little inspiration to you or someone you know, please show us some love by liking, sharing, commenting, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so that you never miss any episode. A big thanks to Vantahire, your AI powered recruitment partner, for supporting I'm a Recruiter podcast. To reach them, you can visit their website www.vantahire.com or email hello@vantahire.com. So let's keep learning, growing, and making a difference together. Now let's start today's conversation. So today's guest is again very special to me because he have a very similar background. He is similar background of coming from a tier 2, tier 3 town or cities, but having a big dream to have something of his own in the talent acquisition world. So today our guest is Makrand Karambelkar. He is a TA professional and he has been there in the industry almost like 10 plus years now. So once again, welcome, Makran. I'm really excited to have you in our podcast. We already have spoken couple of times. We can relate most of the stuffs in the TA world plus in our personal life as well, right? So thank you for your time. Really excited. And yeah, so why don't you quickly introduce yourself, what you do currently?
Thanks, Prafula, for again having me on this podcast. Just for my audience, this is my first podcast, and I'm beyond happy that Prafula thought of that. My story can resonate with the overall recruiting community, and maybe, as he said, that me and him have a similar background, equally from the cities we come from, or even for the personal space. Again, thank you so much because I so wanted to share whatever I have experienced and bagged in my kit in last 10, 15 years in recruiting space, and I wanted to share it to the wider audience because I do understand people do have a hesitation when it comes to recruitment, or they do look after recruitment as a tier 2 function under HR function, right? So if we let's go into payroll, comp and ben, HRBP, OD, and all that stuff. Let me tell you one thing: this is a fantastic function or sub function wherein you have challenges day in day out. No other function, I would say, will give you challenges related to your stakeholders or candidates or any other dynamic challenges thrown at you at a last moment. So it keeps you on your toes, that prepares you well how to engage, how to get a resolution out of it or a solution out of it, and how to build relationships. Because for me, again, being a recruiter and in the industry for last 15 years now, I feel relationship is the most important thing I learned in this 15 years. I definitely want people to come to TA and don't think that TA or recruitment is something which will not give you or take you to places, will not give you money, all that stuff. So that's a small advice from me. I don't have a background of a coach or something, but I'm keeping it very, very open in the sense that because that's how I landed up here. So let me give you a bit background about myself. I was born and brought up in Indore, which is an MP, not a very big city, but you can say similar to what you have like Pune in Maharashtra, or you can say similar to Mysore in Karnataka after Bangalore. So similar stories or similar sync when it comes to cities. Now it has grown big time. So I would say it is now tier two, slowly becoming tier one. But I was born and brought up there. My schooling was there till 12th. Then one of my friend and I thought will not go for engineering in MP.
Just a second, Makrand. We'll come to your background. So, can you quickly also tell us what's your story currently? Where are you currently? And like, what is your current profile? So that we can go back and discuss in detail.
So I'm working for Onyx right now, and
Okay.
Onyx is a US-based MNC into AI, data, and cloud. I joined a year and a half back. Earlier to that, I was with Fujitsu Research. So my current role is more of a lead, or you can say a manager talent acquisition. I'm managing product hiring. I work very closely with the CTO and the HODs and the directors of the various products we have. We are growing, we are expanding. I manage a team of roughly 3 to 4 recruiters, and it's a cross collaboration. And yeah, we are scaling up big time. So when I joined, it was roughly 100, people. Now we are touching 200. So the plan is to go further, and we are in overall globally expanding in other regions like Europe and even APAC and all that. So that's my
Great.
current role. Was earlier with Fujitsu Research as well, wherein I was again leading the hiring for their research practice into AI, some niche areas like quantum computing and processor development and network infrastructure. So I was there for 2 years with Fujitsu as well. And before that, I was into consulting. So it's like I have a mix of consulting come corporate experience, which definitely helps. So yeah, that's about
Awesome.
me as of now.
Great. So once again, welcome, Makrand, to
Thanks,
I'm a
Papa.
Recruiter podcast. Great. Before we start, right, can you give us little bit background about your past, right? Where you were born and brought up, what was your family background, and like how were you as a student?
Got it. So as I said, I was born and brought up in Indore. It was a tier two city, a big city in MP, to be honest, after Bhopal, which is the capital. But so my schooling was in Indore till 12th. We don't have that college system in MP, just like other parts of the India, but it was schooling. So it was called as higher secondary. So I will term it as higher secondary, which I thought I will not do engineering from here. So me
Okay.
and one of my friend, we thought of let's move to Maharashtra because there was no entrance for us as a outstation candidates, right? So it
Okay.
was directly on your 12th percentage. So just two of us I moved to Pune, he moved to Pusat, and we completed our engineering. But to be honest, I was not a very good student when it comes to academics. Till 12th, I would say an average 60, 70%, 75% guy. When it comes to engineering, and when I got admitted, I mean, I took admission in the engineering in 2002. It was a new ball game, and I was
Yes.
taken aback because 10 subjects, semester wise pattern, and I was not prepared, to be honest, Prafulla. Let me confess it that I was not
Yes.
prepared
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
I failed in the very first year, to be honest. So I completed my engineering in 5 years rather than 4 years, as other
Okay.
people do.
Okay.
All my batchmates, my good friends in the group I had, they all moved further. I was taken aback by a year and so. But yeah, it taught me a lot in the sense setbacks are there, but how you pick it up. So there was a time when I was having my subjects down and I was not able to clear it. And then there was a time when, without any help, I cleared it in one go. So
Yes.
that's how I pick it up myself that no, I have to complete it. I have to move further. I was intended or I was thinking of moving towards software testing because I was a IT engineer. And that time it was a boom. But to be honest, in 2007, I could not find a good job through campus because I was not having good academics. So
Okay.
another advice, of course, to all the budding people who want to move to any stream, not only TCAT should be good. I do feel academics plays a very important role, though it is not the only thing. But to
Yes.
bag or land a job or to get something in terms of more opportunities, I guess yes, you should have a good package that will help you. And I don't think so. It will be a stamp or authority that you will get a job, but it will at least give you more options open for you, which
Yes.
I missed because when the placement came, most of the time I was not eligible to even appear. So that is something which I feel if someone is good at acads, please continue, please push yourself, get good scores, don't get into ATKTs and all. That is my honest advice to you. But again, on a broader scale or a vision, don't worry much. It will
Yes.
definitely take
Yes.
you along.
Yes. Yes.
After
And what
that,
about your family background? Can you give
so my
us some?
family, my dad is now a retired bank officer. He retired as a DGM from Indore. He was born and brought up in Indore. His whole life was in Indore, or still is in. He's in the Indore. My mom is a housewife, and I have a elder brother. He's working with Tata Communications now. Yeah, I mean, just four of us, and of course, grandparents, and also the initial 16, 17 years was in Indore, and then I moved out, and then like now I moved to Pune, then I moved to Bangalore, then again Pune, and now settled in.
Great. So many people might not know about Indore, even though like Indore is getting its popularity now, right? Can you tell some of the famous things in Indore? Because I have personally visited and I know a couple of things. As a person from Indore, can you also tell what are the things famous in Indore? Let's say if
Absolutely.
someone goes for first time, like
Correct. So as you have pointed out, kya kya khana chahiye? Khana is something which is popular for Indoris, and
okay,
Indore is famous for that. To be honest, rather than I would say it is more famous for food rather than I am Indore or IIT
okay,
Indore. So on a lighter note, yeah, I can say that. But yeah, it is a city wherein you will find a lot of foodies. It is a city which goes at a very slow pace. The people more or less are more on the business side. So they do have their own space to start, and it will be like they will not be in a hurry. They will have a lot of time to talk to you. They are very welcoming. They will definitely give you a lot of gyan, I would say, to be honest. Yeah, but in a good way. Very helpful, very particular when it comes to food and all. So yeah, I
फूड
mean,
में क्या पॉपुलर है
if
क्या खा
someone is
सकते
flying and exploring Indore, I would definitely say without poha jalebi, you can't
हैं ओके
come back. Samosa kachori is there. You have farsan, you have namkeen. I will not say farsan, just omit that. It's
ओके
namkeen. So yeah, I mean namkeen is the right word, and of course sweets. So that is something which I feel one should go and explore when it comes to food side. And there are a lot of top places wherein you can go, like Sarafa, which is of course a USP for Indore because Sarafa, as name suggests, it is a jewelry area. So they
ओके
have a lot more than 100, 200, 300 shops, all jewelry. But the moment they close their shops by 8 o'clock, all foodie stalls or business starts. So that's
ओके
why it is called as Sarafa, of course. And it starts by 8 o'clock and it will run till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the night. So people come after their work to just for enjoyment with families, kids, and enjoy the multiple or the variety of foods on the display. So it's more on the thing wherein it's a joint or a area wherein you can find everything, whatever you want
yes
to, right from sweets to namkeen to samosas to snacks to everything. So we'll be going full and you don't have to worry about food or dinner anytime. So that is one
yes
area. Then you similarly you have a place called Chappan Dukan, wherein there are 56 to 60 shops in a line. That's the reason
ओके
it's called as Chappan Dukan. Again, you will find all types of food there, and it still goes on till 1, 2 o'clock or something. Of course,
yes
now Indore has grown big time, so
yes
they have a
yes
lot of malls, you have a lot of typical infrastructures and all that. I guess BRT system is there, metro is coming up. So roads are good now. When I was there, of course, it was terrible, but now one of the best roads we have. And of course, which I can't miss on this podcast is it is the cleanest city in India for 7 times in a row.
yes
So
yes yes yes
that is something which I'm very proud of. Reason Indori always Indori, but something which I saw in my past when I was in school, and now when I visited, say 6, 7 years back, and even as recent as a year back, there's a huge difference, Prafula. So I say huge difference in the sense when I was coming back from say airport with my parents, I could not find a wrapper which is lying
yes
outside a shop, which was not the case 20 years back or even 15 years back. So that is the kind of improvement Indore has scaled up. And thanks to, of course, people, I would definitely say it's a huge population. It's not like a 2 lakh or 3 lakh population. It's more touching 50 lakhs. So people have given it a go that, yeah, we will
yes
support the government initiative, we'll support the cleanliness initiative. And they are so habitual now that they will not do it, which
yes
earlier was not the case. So as I said, 20 years back, if I say, people were not even bothered what is happening just next to them. Now it is like if someone is throwing or doing some stuff, they will stop it. So that is how the education, or you can say the initiative, helped them in gaining it. And now, of course, the government of India has banned Indore that you can't compete now because you have already peaked the threat.
I 2 months back I have visited IIT Indore and I definitely found that it was very clean, right? I be from Bangalore. I was comparing. It was much cleaner than Bangalore, to be very honest, right? And 2015 I visited to IIT Indore. That time that was the first time, and I remember the big kachori they
Yeah,
have given me. I was very surprised कि भाई your name meaning means Makrand.
good
क्या है
question.
इसका मतलब?
Let me go in Hindi first, and of course,
Yes.
people can relate maybe. And for our other audience, I will definitely try to explain it in English as well. So, फूल के अंदर जो pollen grains हैं, and then you
Yes.
have the madhu out of it, the
Yes.
comes
Yes.
out of it is called
Yeah.
makrand.
Okay.
That
Okay.
is the real meaning. So you can say madhu or a bit related to. I will not directly relate it to shahid, but it
Okay.
is more of the inner stuff which is from the flower. So that is what
Yes.
it is
Yes.
called
Yes.
as makrand. That's what I know. Otherwise,
Yes. Yes. No, it's very unique name as well, right? But thanks for explaining to our people कि क्या meaning है. Great. So I would really appreciate you being very candid and being very open because struggling in your initial days when you were doing your engineering, right? Even just for your information, मेरा भी जब पहला and पहली बार आप दुनिया देखते हो.
this is what happens if someone is not prepared enough to
Yes,
pick it up from where you have left till 12th, because till 12th you know you have 5 6 subjects, आपको एक pattern है, आपको करना है. But the moment you move to engineering or say a BCA or a BBA or for that matter any graduation course, you do have a lot of stuff going on. You have projects, you have anything else, you have extracurricular activities, then you have
assignment.
then there are different subjects giving to you, right?
यस एंड जैसे मकरान ने बोला इवन मेरा भी काफी सारा बैग्स थे ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 4 5 बैग्स थे बट के लिए हम लोगों का बैग एग्जाम भी हुआ था तो पहला ईयर में दोनों सेमेस्टर मिला के हैड ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 6 7 बैग्स मे बी those kind of exposure are definitely required and for our audience please be prepared like Makran have said अगर आप एजुकेशन के लिए बाहर जाते हो है ना बहुत सारी चीजें तो you need
Yeah,
to just go
absolutely.
ahead and tell your
If you
parents
want
कि आपको कुछ और करना.
Absolutely, Prafulla. You hit it right. That if you want or you think that this is something which I have chosen in a wrong way, you can opt out. It's okay. It's absolutely fine. I had so many friends who completed 1 year with me, and then when I entered into second year, they were not there. So then I come to know they felt it is not for me, and he or she has taken admission into commerce or defense or something like the other stuff. So that's absolutely okay, I suppose, because end of the day, it is your career, your life. You have to make it big, and you should know better what you want to go for. So again, I would just try to give you some more thing in the sense the era I'm coming from or Profula are coming from. I guess it was not that much of guidance
Yes,
there, especially for the people who are in tier two, tier three, and even villages and all. We try to just follow some patterns or चलो दोस्त लोग जा रहे हैं engineering में,
कर रहे
चलो
हैं.
मैं भी जा रहा हूँ, and that is what happened. But if now I see the shift or the changes happening right now in the overall society and at large the overall life of everyone, I guess you have a lot of content, you have a lot of guidance, you have people who can guide you, mentors, counselors are there, even in school, before college, after college. You have a lot of angles to it wherein you can go talk to everyone, get it aligned yourself that okay, this is something which I feel I can be a better at. And then you give it a shot because that will give you more chances of clearing it, and it will absolutely good for you in a longer run when it comes to your life. So that's
Yes,
just a small advice again, nothing much.
yes, yes, yes. One thing which just for the students, right? Don't take it too hard as well, right? अगर आपके लाइफ में आप इंजीनियर नहीं then it's totally fine.
Absolutely.
फॉर एग्जाम्पल राइट हम लोग अभी भी खुश हैं अपने जॉब को लेकर बहुत सारे जॉब्स ऐसे भी होते हैं कि हमें भी नहीं पता था फॉर एग्जाम्पल टैलेंट एक्विजिशन टैलेंट एक्विजिशन बोल के कुछ भी होता है हमें भी नहीं पता हमें बस पता था घर पे कि देर इज इंजीनियरिंग एंड मेडिकल दैट्स इट.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So that's what I mean. Now, though, the fields have, I mean, a lot of fields have emerged. You have a lot of variety wherein you can choose. So think, take your time, and then go for it. That's what.
Yes, yes, yes. And how were you like since you mentioned that you were the youngest one, right? Or the eldest one?
Yeah, yeah. I'm the youngest one. I have elder brother.
Okay. So you were the pampered one at your house?
No, to be honest, a bit you can say, but again, coming from a very middle class family and with grandparents and my elder brother, so I owe it a lot to my parents, of course, the way they have handled everything and given us whatever we are today. So, especially my dad, because of course my mom is a housewife. So when it comes to single one who is your earning member and that too in Indore with not a hefty package that time. I'm
Yes,
talking
yes,
about
yes.
80s, 90s, yeah, because I'm 85 bonds. Somewhere around 90s, 2000. I guess he did a fantastic job for me and my brother. My brother is a PG, I'm an engineer. To send me to Pune, billing out 50,000 rupees in 2002 per year, and to my brother's fees in Indore, which is roughly similar. So to manage that particular amount a year, and then household things, I guess it's a commendable job. So and a lot of learnings which I have or I'm trying to inculcate in my life is through my dad, because as we all know, we don't talk much about dads, right? So I guess this is one of the very first podcasts wherein or where it's a platform wherein I'm expressing myself openly, and thanks to you for that. So yeah, I mean, he did a great job, and to be honest with you, whatever I'm here today, of course, lot of qualities which I'm trying to get into myself, though I'm a recruiter, which helps me because being kind-hearted, being always have that gratitude towards everyone is
Yes.
something which I will owe it to my dad. So that is the only thing I wanted to tell you that.
सो अंकल अगर आप ये वीडियो देख रहे हो तो मकरान आपको थैंक यू।
I will definitely share this link to him later because that is something which I will feel he will feel proud of. So let's see.
यस 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 डेफिनेटली आई आई डू एग्री कि बहुत टाइम हम लोग अपने पेरेंट्स में डैड को भूल जाते हैं सो इवन लाइक whatever my relation with my dad today but still I want to also thank you because मकरान ने काफी अच्छा चीज बोला है आपने भी मेरे लिए बहुत कुछ जो भी हो हमारे बीच में अभी रिलेशन स्टिल यू आर माय डैड एंड थैंक यू फॉर व्हाटएवर यू हैव डन राइट एंड ग्रेट बीटेक के बाद क्या
B.Tech के बाद क्या हुआ? IT engineer. The academics was not good. Rather, I would say it was pathetic. Year down, and just I just passed out with higher second class, which was 58%. I was not getting a job as always. So one again, I mean, this platform it's trying to give me opportunities to thank everyone, maybe my mentors, my family members who definitely helped me in carving out what I am today, right? So one of my uncle thought and checked with me, what happened? Why are you not getting a job? What is happening? What is your inclination? I have a friend who runs a consultancy. Would you be able to help him for some time? He's in need of some people. For say a few hours, you go. If you don't like it, leave. That's okay. I said, rather than sitting at home, why not? And he said will get paid. I said, why? Let's go. And he introduced me to one of my very first mentor, or you can say sir, because he's a retired Naidu. So thanks to him, because he was running a consultancy in Hadapsar in Pune, which was a very small boutique consultancy, one room shop with 4 5 recruiters. And he was having some top clients with him like L&T and Nagarjuna Constructions and HCC and Lavasa and all that. So when I was there to meet him, being an army person, of course, he was so disciplined, so strict,
डिसिप्लिन
so sharp and so smart that I just thought of this can be an opportunity for me. At least whatever he say, I will follow. And it was my first job, so I thought, why not? And then I spoke to him, and then he said, come from tomorrow, start. And then there was, of course, my mentors initial days. He was there, Dipti Joshi. I would, of course, owe a lot to him, and Sushil, who again coming from very small middle class background, but they were so sharp because they were having exposure and experience in their kitties, but they didn't hold it back. Rather, they tried to give me an idea about how recruitment works. So whatever I learned in the initial phase is through both of them. So I owe a big thanks to both of them. They are doing very good now. And I started liking Prafulla. That it's a great job. And to be honest with you and for my wider audience, let me tell you what I'm looking right now and talking to you very open and very candid. I was the other way around. Yeah, I was a very shy introvert, very silent guy, and I will only have my group wherein I will be very open, but otherwise I will be very shy. I used to, uh, I tried to avoid calling candidates initial days,
ओके
right? So if the target was say 10 calls, I would only make 2 or 3 calls. That too after observing what others are talking on phone, how they are talking, how much time they are taking, 10 minutes, 8 minutes. But slowly I picked up. I was more
ओके
keen in understanding the overall process. So that time I'm talking about 2007 and 8. Time it was not about more on ATAs, it was more about manual work,
यस
paper, GD creation, and you have to understand. And since I was exposed to non-IT side earlier, it was more to do with what do you mean by a procurement manager, or if I'm hiring a site manager, what is it? And then I dig deep into the JDs. I understand what exactly the keywords are, how you search on Naukri, Monster. That time it was Naukri and Monster, so majorly we were using those two. But slowly I picked up and I started liking this. Okay, great. You are talking to a candidate, you are providing them an opportunity, and you're talking to a customer or a client and stakeholders, and you're trying to bridge them. And one fine day, if the offer is released and candidate joins, look at the happiness the candidate have, and the one he will thank is you. So I thought, why not? I can continue this, right? I mean, because I was not good at, of course, coding and testing and all that. So I was aware in back of my mind I can't do that. So I thought, let's continue. You'll not believe I worked for 2.5 years with Naidu sir. He was very sure from day one, Makan, this is not your cup of tea. I'm just giving you because you are sitting at home. But the moment you get a job, I want you to accept that and resign. I said, okay, sir, no problem. But that day didn't happen. I mean, that they never came. So it was more on the side wherein I used to love, I mean, I love working with him. And I spent 2.5 years. Then I moved to Adeco because at a point of time it came that, okay, you have to grow. What about money? And I was of course, turning 25, 26 kind of thing, 24. So I thought, let's move to Adeco. And Adeco was that time the number one staffing company. So I said, why not? Then again, my another mentor like Darshan and Shireen. So they took me in their wings. They guided me again. I worked for top clients across like Volkswagen or Tata Fiat or you name it, and I was there working for them. That's how my journey started. And then I didn't look back anytime. I mean, I was so well versed with it that I want to build my career here only. From Adeco, then I moved to CareerNet. Then there was some turbulence in my personal life as well. It didn't go well in terms of marriage and all. And then moved to Bangalore for a short stint because I was sitting idle for 6 months. There was a setback wherein I got a job in Dubai and I processed everything in terms of visa and all that for documents and all. And after 3 or 4 months, I got to know that it is stalled because of UAE embassy. They have certain norms and all. So again, I was like, this was an opportunity rather, which I would be looking forward to, but I could not. So then I moved to Bangalore with CareerNet because one of my friend recommended me there, Lakshmi. So again, thanks to her. See, this is why I'm telling you with names is because the audience should remember how your network and your relationship helps. Going forward, you will come to know how it helped me in a broader way. But this is something which I wanted to tell that relationship is very important, and that is what I feel. Be it your personal relationship, professional relationship, or just colleagues or peers, it doesn't matter. But at least you should have few people to fall back when you are in need. And I'm not saying just for selfishness; it is just for something to help. Just like
Yes.
you think that I should help people and wider audience, they are also there to help you. But then it
Agree.
will only be reciprocated when you have both the relationships going on. So
Agree.
Lakshmi recommended me and I got a job in CareerNet, right? After six
Perfect.
months of gap. And that is, I'm talking to you about 2014. And it was a big time. I mean, it was a big scenario wherein people will think, why gap? Why you are sitting idle for 6 months? I will not give you a job. And just for her word, she recommended, I went there, I interviewed, I met everyone till CEO, and they were very okay with me that work for Volkswagen, you work for this, we are coming up with a non-IT practice and we feel you can be a senior consultant there. I said, I worked there for say a year and a half. Then they opened their office in Pune. They shifted me to Pune. I worked with CareerNet for good 4.5 years. So CareerNet is a very
Awesome.
important milestone for me because
Yes.
it helped me. They gave me what I wanted when I asked them for a move to Pune because my family was here and I was going through a rough patch. They just obliged. They sent me back, allowed me to experience RPO. What exactly is RPO that time? So I was never at the client side and they asked me to go to Cognizant, and it was a fantastic experience for me. And looking at my experience and performance there, they bagged another RPO in Deutsche Bank, wherein they asked me to move to Deutsche Bank for 2 years. And it was a fantastic time, Prafulla, because I learned all the nitty gritties or nuances about how corporate works, right? I mean,
Yes.
I was never exposed to it because I was always in consulting side.
Yeah.
But when I met people from the corporate, from their TA team, from their AVPs to VPs to the drive planning to strategize and all, it gives me a immense
Another perspective
learning
as well.
and the perspective change that how TA happens or TA works.
Yes. Yes.
And then we were like every weekend we were having drives and hiring 200, 300 number for Deutsche Bank because they were ramping up. And there again, I met people like current friends, which are still with me for 10 years. One of the best time of my life because you will not believe four vendor partners working for Deutsche Bank, working from one cabin. Can you beat that? And that time it was cutting edge competition going on that no, we want more share. The commissions are there, the commercials are there. Let's hire 200 for us and 200 not for them, right? So but we four were all together and working from one cabin, and it was great chemistry with us. We are still like that, and we still meet. We still have that bond, and I met some of my great mentors there. Of course, Syed is one, Syed Kalim Raza. I would definitely want to highlight his name here because he was the one who thought that I will be able to do justice to my role at Deutsche Bank. Because when I met him and his AVP and everyone, they were a bit, and then of course, CareerNet team was also a bit that yeah, you can do wonders here, and it happened. I mean, 2 years was there. We ramped up from 200 to plus people along with every other support, my backend team support. And then I moved to another consulting, Conferry, again a big brand. I always got that opportunity. I mean, once I was into it, I started and looking at a better role and better brand and better role and everything. And it happened. It's not that I have to struggle a lot or I have to do a lot of grinding and all that stuff. But it was majorly because maybe the work I did or the people I met, someone recommended somewhere, or even not, then they had hunted me that okay, this can be a good guy. Comments again, another comments hiring manager Sandeep Chauhan. I would definitely owe him a lot because when I joined Comments in 2017, it was a huge IPO. And if I remember team, I was one who was chosen for hiring their non-IT and design. They were coming up with a design center in Coach Road. I was the one who was given that responsibility to scale it up. And me, along with Sandeep's help and his guidance and my other team members like Shahbaz, Aruna, and everyone, just scaled it up. So it was a fantastic exposure. He gave me exposure to present for the very first time in my life in front of India head and board of directors and directors for every product or every test of Comments, which was a boardroom full with 15, 20 senior veterans. And I'm just like, what, 10 years experience guy from recruitment because he was not there. And he trusted me to be there, present it, the data, and be ready because he thought I can definitely have that confidence to portray whatever we have done in terms of the job we were assigned to. And that gives me enough confidence that the guy who was once shy, introvert, can present in every manner in front of everyone. And just to add on, when I was in college, we had a project, right? Every third year, fourth year, we have a project, right? So
Yes.
I still remember I could not stand on stage because in front of me, all my friends from third year, fourth year were there, and three of my project partners, they were ready with their stuff. And the part which I wanted to explain, I was fluffed. I mean, I was just blank. I could not utter a word, Prafulla. So that happened with me in 2007 or 2006. Fast forward 10 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever.
Yes.
Between this story.
So I have certain question for you, Makrand. There are two most important question. First one is like when you were not able to find job, right?
Mhm.
In your initial days, right? What kind of mindset you had? Like कैसा फील हो रहा क्या हो रहा था क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग आफ्टर माय बीटेक राइट आफ्टर व्हेन आई एमबीए lots of things were happening with me in terms of family in terms of personal life so I was going through a depression stage as well नहीं करते उस रूम के बाहर just go to college quietly I will be there and I will come back stay the whole day night in that particular room only.
This podcast or platform is you can for the audience. I would like to quote that me and Prafulla are talking like friends, right? So don't get me or Prafulla wrong that this is more of I'm a recruiter community, but you are talking more on the
Yes.
other life stuff.
Yeah.
But this is important.
Yes.
Prafulla, when I was not able to bag a job, I was a bit, of course, depressed. I was a bit, I will not say depressed because, as you said, I was not aware about what depression is.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say I was a bit sad. I was just out of it. I mean, I was never into it, to be honest, like you said, but I was quickly in a flash, I was out of it that now this is what I have to focus. So your mindset is important in the sense that you should not go too deep when you know that there's no solution to it, or you can just get trouble to you. Better that you think and deviate from that. Try to meet new people. Try to be with friends more. Talk to your parents. Talk to one fine human who you feel can understand. Be it your
Yes.
best friend, be it your Anna, Dada, I don't care. So that kind of people in your life is very important because one should open up and it is very obvious, right? To my parents because they are already having a lot of tensions.
Lot of
Someone who can talk to like your sister or your brother will sometimes feel I'm not that open to him or her. Some things I want to talk to my best friend only.
yes.
Then so someone should be there with whom you can share because that helps you to quickly move out of this phase. And it happened with me, Prafulla, as I said earlier, that I have a bad phase of my life in 2014 or something, and then I moved to Bangalore, then I moved to Conferry, and I moved from Conferry. I wanted to jump a job, and I bagged a job in Randstad in 2019. 2019 to 20, I worked, and we have all know that COVID struck, right? So there was restructuring, and they again asked me to move out. So it was a layoff. But then again, as I said, why network and people important? Because again, I was in that zone. Because that time I was zone wherein I have some liabilities. I bought a house in 2016, so I was having some EMIs, normal expenses, and everything. And suddenly, I'm on zero because they have asked me to go. And what happened? Okay, I have a good network. I floated my resume to more than 600 to 1,000 people. 7 days, I got a job. So
Wow.
this Monday I'm getting relieved. Next Monday I'm joining back to CareerNet. Why? Because the VPs like Ranjit sir, Sachin sir, Anshuman sir, and all, they're so great that they know, okay, Makrand has asked for something, and we know him, how he worked in Deutsche, right? Which was 7 8 years back. But still, they are having that back of
Remember,
mind, or maybe
yes,
someone from their team must have given them a good feedback that, yeah, this guy
yes,
is good. You can at least think of putting him in somewhere. So I
yes,
got a
yes,
job
yes.
again through CareerNet, and I was managing Wipro. 6 months down the line, what happened? My Cummins boss, Sandeep Chauhan, right, who was Cummins DGM, called me up saying, Makaran, I have a role and we have attrition. I want you to be there.
Okay.
Okay. And again, that time my mom was going through knee replacement surgery and all that. So I took a break from CareerNet that I have to be in Indore to be with her. And suddenly he called me up, and then I said, okay, great. Since I worked with you for 2.5 years, I'm absolutely loyal to you. I will join. I joined again 6 months, but this time the stint with Sandeep was not great, to be honest with you. So guys, I'm not cursing my manager, right? But I'm telling you the truth that it was mutual. So what he was expecting in 6 months time and what I was delivering was not matching. So there was
Okay.
a friction. There was a gap in terms of role and the work, and we both thought of that this is not something good for Cummins and for me as a career. So let's part ways. So it was mutual decision wherein he informed my team in Conferry that no, we could not continue further. But again, one of my other friend Pratik, he gave me an opportunity in Fujitsu, and in 10 days time, the moment I get relieved or got relieved from Conferry, I was landing a job in Fujitsu. So see how many times it helped me in my career in 15 years. And to top it off, Onyx happened because of CHR again, because I was in
Yes,
Bangalore. I wanted to move back to Pune, reason being my family is here, I have a kid. I wanted to be here with her, to spend more time with her, right? Which is everyone's priority nowadays.
yes,
The moment I called up Syed sir and I discussed with him, quickly carved out an opportunity for me in Onyx, and that's what I'm here. So it's like 1.5 years now in Onyx. The whole agenda or whole crux out of it, Prafulla, is one, of course, whenever there is a setback, don't bog down, don't get into shell. You will always have a moment wherein you will click. That moment, that right time will come for you. It is, of course, a bit of destiny, but more on your karma and your hard work. I would always say, if you sit down and just think of, like, the moment you try, yes, the work you have done or you have जो आपने किया है पहले, I guess people do relate. People do
yes,
understand what Prafulla is, or how Makrand is, or people is, right? They do definitely feel that someone is there to help. As you feel that you help people, there are people in the market who also feel the same, that, yeah, why not? तो 3 या 4 बार हो चुका है, right? So imagine, because layoff is very common. Every now
yes.
and then
Very common
we
these
are
days.
hearing layoffs today, right? Microsoft, Google, everyone is laying off. You do get a job in next 10 days, 7 days, some takes time. The moment you put your work, the moment you portray yourself in a better manner, that is also very important nowadays, which they call it as branding. So personal branding is very important. Reason being, if you don't portray what you are, how people will know, how Prafulla will know what Makrand is. So
Yes,
until as Prafulla knows, हाँ यार मकरन में ये काम किया है उसने ये, I guess he will be in a better position to recommend me to his network. It
yeah,
opens up at least good 2 3 opportunities for you, and
yes,
it's a proper process wherein you don't have to just get into zone or depression of job chale. No, it's a difficult stage to be in, and I have experienced it in the past. I had been in that phase for good 3 4 times. One, you have to be very solid when it comes to your mindset, which should be positive. And second, I am a highly optimistic guy. I do feel अच्छा होगा, अगर ये हुआ है ना तो इसके लिए कुछ ज्ञान ले, it is related and
आपको गूगली देगा. At that time, how do you respond? How do you react? What you do
correct.
matters a lot. Definitely, Makran have told about mindset. Having a positive mindset is very important. Second thing, Makran ने बोला कि gratitude होना चाहिए.
Absolutely.
जब तक आपके पुराने चीजों के लिए gratitude नहीं होंगे, आपको next opportunity कैसे मिलेगा?
And I
Very
just want
important.
to add, Professor, कि gratitude and kindness go a big way. I will just quote an example. Few
Yeah.
days back, if someone of our audience and you follow my LinkedIn post, I had posted specially a post for one of my candidate in Deutsche, Amir Shirke. After 8 years, almost 8 or 9 years, he still remembers me in terms of helping me out and bagging a job in Deutsche Bank. And he quoted me. And that was my way of thanking him back. That boss, thanks for having me and valuing me so much that just a small act of mine, which was just a part of a normal recruiter job. You came for interview, I met you with say kindness, I helped you through the whole day and process, 2 rounds of interview, 3 rounds of interview, then your documentation, then your offer. That's it. That was my job 8 years, 10 years back, right? I still do it. But you having me in your thoughts and remembering me and valuing me when I tried to approach him after 10 years for another job in Onyx, and he politely declined. And on top of it, saying to me, Makrand, I still remember the way you helped me in Deutsche Bank. That means a lot to me, right? So that is why I'm here as a recruiter, that someone should remember you even for the small act. I'm very happy because I feel, as Prafulla also said, that this community or recruiters, they are not just giving jobs. They are building careers for you, your family. And that is the most happiest thing I feel is for me. That someone who values you just for your small act is very important. And gratitude, kindness just should be there by default, I feel. And that is not only for a certain cadre, certain level. It should be right from interns to freshers, to laterals, to the juniors, to the seniors, to the CEO. It should be the same. So even if you are looking after campus recruitment, don't treat those freshers or college going students, theek hai na. That's not the right approach. You should be there upfront, very solid, very professional with them, very helpful with them. And at the same time, you should be the same with even a CTO material. So that
Yes.
is what I try to inculcate. I'm still learning. I read a lot and I try to get a lot of advice from people like Ankur Wariku or people like Matthew from Soseng or Leo Keaton. These are big names in recruitment, and of course, Ankur everyone knows. But few advice given by them is fantastic. So that's what I feel is something I'm trying to pass it
Yes.
on to you guys, but again, trying to help myself, trying to be like that. And it helps me. It definitely helps me as a human that you are doing something good, which you will always feel proud of.
Yes.
And
Yes.
few of
Yes.
my network or friends, as I always say, I'm pushing more on network, friends, network, relationship, and all because they boost you, they push you. One of my friend, of course, so few of my good friends or best buddies, they are pushing me in terms of leaving for you, right? It is always like, it's not always that you should leave for others. Of course, you have family, you have kids, everyone is there, but you as an individual, or you should also leave for yourself. So that is something, that courage should be there, that if you want to do something, go for it. Even if you fail, that's fine.
That's okay. Yeah.
That is something which I will also like to quote it here. That's it.
Agree. So, since you have talked about Ankur Wariko, even I personally follow him. So whenever he release any book, I try to read, even though I am not a great reader. I try my best, right? Whenever he have any course, I try to enroll myself to that
Yeah.
particular course as well, right? When he have launched YouTube, even though I haven't completed, sorry Ankur sir, but still I am one of your student as well in your course. Then he have also given like how to do your own courses, business and other things as well. I have enrolled that as well, but that too I haven't completed because of my own time. But great learnings, whatever he have shared, it's very useful, I think.
Absolutely.
And one thing which you also mentioned is the personal branding plus relationship, that is people call as networking. It's important, like
And
Makran
one
have.
more addition to it, Prafula,
Yes.
is don't hold grudges about anyone. That is
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
thing I would also say. Reason being, it doesn't help you. I mean, it hardly matters to you if someone did a bad thing to you in the past or someone. It's okay. You just ignore it, move on. Holding grudge, I don't think so. It will rather hamper your mindset. It will rather hamper your time, and you will
Your
invest your
body,
time
your thought
and
process.
body and health into it rather than you can focus on something good. So
Yes.
why to hold grudges? I know if someone said for tomorrow Prafula and I don't see eye to eye, I can just move on. Prafula can move on. Like there are thousands, millions of people around.
Yes. Yes.
Now AI is taking over, but I still feel human connect is very important. This discussion, this candidness, this openness, AI will not provide. So I'm not against AI. I'm against supporting AI because it is helping us as recruiters and TA, and it is there in every function. But the human touch, the human empathy, or you can say the emotions, connect which you have with people is definitely something which no AI can develop. That is what I feel.
I think we are almost on a time. And one thing I would definitely need to thanks every guest of ours from every discussion, right? Some or the other very interesting learning I personally have, right? Which I also enjoy. I learn. I also try to inculcate that particular thing in my personal life as well,
Absolutely,
right? And
absolutely.
every session is a learning for myself. I'm not sure about my audience, but it's a great learning.
I can say it's a fantastic form, Prafula, because I've gone through almost 5 to 6 podcasts. I watched Tino's podcast, I watched Sapna, I watched Mehek, and I watched Srinivasa also, and Sashwag also. But so everyone, of course, a master of their trades, and there is, of course, some learning or the other. How someone has scoped up from a very struggle kind of time to what they are now. Like the one Stephanie's. Yeah, I miss
Yes,
Stephanie's
yes,
name
yes,
from Arunachal to Microsoft. I mean, that is something which is an achievement in itself, right? So
yes.
everywhere there is a learning how someone, and after rejecting more than what 1,100 call centers
Yeah,
interview, that was the USP of that because that lady or that girl can make it big. Why not us? So it's like you have to keep trying. You have to have a focus and channelize your energy in a proper manner, and of course, the strategy should be there. And then you can go places. It's not that it's so difficult. It's there, but yeah, one can make it. And then when people like us can make it,
why not? We are not that great, but still
we are
we are
not
doing
good now.
something, right? So
And yeah, and be
definitely,
contained in what you have. Of course, your aspiration should be higher, but one should be contained in and happy in what they
yes,
have built for themselves. It's like whatever you are today is because of you, and because you put in that hard work, you slogged, you stretched working hours, you worked on weekends, and that is, and of course, without your family support, it is not possible. So, family
it's
and
not.
friends are very important, and hold them very dear and near. And that's my message.
Yes,
That's it.
yes, great. So, ask piece of advice to our audience, to anyone which you would like to share from your personal life, Makran. Any advice for our audience?
I already covered it, but again, I would say that from my personal side of it, my life is all about struggles. I'm not boasting myself, to be honest, so a disclaimer. It's not about myself in terms of boasting. What happened, I'm trying to just give it to the audience so that people like Prafulla can relate, or people are there who are looking at that, watching this podcast and think that is something similar. I'm way deeper into the struggle side of it. Someone can definitely relate to it and come out of it. So I definitely feel that from my personal side of it, the academics was a struggle, my personal life was a struggle, and then I'm now settled. I am now very happy, content, and I'm scaling up. So definitely, yes, have a good positive mindset is very important, as I will again push on that. Because until unless you are not thinking positive, you are not trying to make something out of it and putting your hard work, I guess you will not get success. For everyone is different, so I don't want to get into it, but at
Yeah,
least
yeah,
to not bog down and sit in one place and not getting into the zone is something which I don't feel. You have one life, go for it, chase your dreams. Of course, there are a lot of avenues wherein you can seek help. You have mentors, you have coaching, you have people who can definitely talk to you in your family, in your network, in your friend list, and all that. So why not to take help? And I don't think so if asking for help someone will go and talk to you, I will not help you. I don't think so that happens until unless there's something very
yeah,
different,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's very simple. I mean, you have to just open up. That's it. That's what we are. So as human, I guess we just have to open up, talk about something which you feel is very important to you and which is troubling you. I guess you can get a solution just next to you. Maybe Prafulla and I can talk to you, and we can talk together. And Prafulla can give whenever you want to whom you want to. That is up to you. But at least I feel this is something which I learned, that just be with yourself is not something which is good. You have to be open, talk to people, get into the zone so that you will get ideas, you will get help, and you will be in a right phase. So that's
Yes,
what my
yes,
advice is, Prafulla.
perfect. Thanks, Makrand. Before we wind up our call, so what do you think about I am a recruiter and how was your experience talking to us?
To be honest, Prafulla, as I said, I am beyond, you can say I'm highly privileged that you hosted me. And as I said, I'm a very simple, very normal guy coming from a tier two city. So why you will have interest in me or my story. But I'm very happy, reason being, I'm a recruiter is a community which is helping people like us to carve out their career in talent acquisition or recruitment, right? So whoever is looking forward to moving into TA zone, of course, this is a community wherein all you should subscribe, you should go for it, watch the podcast from top people. Definitely, I'm one of them, but I will not say look at me as your mentor or something. Of course, I can mentor people. I'm not denying that. But people like Ashfaq, people like Tino, who are 20 years experience, people like Srinivasa, worked with agencies, worked with corporates and all, they will have a lot of advice for you guys who want to move and want to join the bandwagon of TA. So I would definitely say this is a great community, great initiative, Prafulla. I'm hoping this goes big and rather than only few hundred subscribers and all, it goes to thousand and even
Yes.
to the number which we can't expect. So because it is helping in a way people who want to move to this particular domain. And I'm really thankful to you that you started this despite your struggles, despite your tough phase of life and bottlenecks and all, but you started it, you started Vanta. Absolutely fantastic. Kudos to you guys. And of course, this is something which I feel I can be a part of it in a small way, wherein whatever I have given advice today, people should take it just like an advice. I'm not a life coach again. I'm not trying to boast myself and all, but yeah, this is a very candid discussion I had with Prafulla, and I really loved it, enjoyed it. I never felt that this is my first time on any podcast or I'm getting recorded. So a bit, of course, nervousness, shyness, and all that. Of course, वो सब हटा दिया था मैंने प्रफुल्ला ने. So I hope people will love this podcast. Just for a quick open advice है कि ये ले सकते हैं, please take it. If not, I guess that's fine. That is absolutely okay. But yeah, it's a great episode, Prafulla. Thank you again for having me and hosting me. By multiple reschedules, so apologies for that. We were thought of doing it in last week, but I could not make it. But now, yeah, I'm super happy. I'm looking forward. Yeah, thank you.
With काफी सारे सीख मिला है के नाम के बारे में भी एक नया Indore, which is a great thing. So once again, thank you,
Thanks,
and
thanks,
we
Prafula.
love to see you in future again.
Absolutely,
Yes,
I will be there for any help, anything you feel so. Be open to connect with me. I will be there.
yes, thank you.